Stand by for ludicrous speed.
Okay, my dear Greg Saunders.
Gregory.
Eagle looking great. You're go.
Greg Saunders.
Greg Saunders.
Greg Saunders!
Wow. Hey, great.
Look at it.
We interrupt this sound file to bring you a terrifying announcement.
Are you aware that you're leaking coolant at an alarming rate?
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Well, I'm glad we got all that out in the open.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is the Saturday Morning Stateline Show.
There's a real difference between dog and cat people. And the real difference is dog people wish their dogs were people, but cat people wish that they themselves were cats. I'm Greg. He's Tom. Saturday Morning Stateline Show.
Cats rule, dogs drool.
And there he is. There he goes. It's the 5th day of March, the year 2022, the latest it has ever been.
In the history of mankind. Thank you.
Meow, meow.
There you go. Cats rule, dogs drool. They're equally cute, but cats rule, dogs drool. Get that through your heads, people. Understand that.
There are those who will take that saying and take it as an offensive saying. It's not an offensive saying. It's a factual statement of personality. Okay, the personality of a dog is to kind of be like, what do you want to do? What do you want me to do? Tell me what do you want to do? The cat is, here's what you are going to do.
That's right. I'm in charge.
Because I'm in charge.
That's right. I'm in charge.
Between cats and dogs, and we all know it. There's no sense in denying that.
No. All right. So here's the thing. Cats and dogs are 1 and 1A for me. I love both. I have 3 cats and 2 dogs. I love my cats. They love me. I sit down in my chair and boom, one of them's right here on my shoulder. You've seen it before. Psycho in her tail. Yeah. They're just awesome. But somehow or another, cats, I've become a total cat person. An indoor cat too, by the way. I'm an indoor cat. Anyway, dogs. I love my dogs. I have two of the best dogs you could ever ask for. And then, of course, my third one, Milton, who passed away about 5 months ago now, he was a phenomenal dog. And we got him from somebody he was born in Milton, Wisconsin. That's how he got his name, which I thought was cool. So,
and then Knox from Tennessee.
Yeah, probably Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm pretty sure that's where it was. It was whatever it was. Knox was the name. It could have been Fort Knox, Kentucky, but I'm pretty sure it was Knoxville, Tennessee. So, but Knoxville was too confusing, so just Knox.
I'm making a concerted effort to get right into the business of big number of the week, right at the top of the show.
Oh, wow.
So here we go.
I got to write this down.
Our big number of the week this week, ladies and gentlemen, is 500 million. That's right. 500 million is the big number of the week. And the answer this week is either Heinz or Holy. Heinz or Holy. And we will tell you the answer by the end of the show. So stick around and find out what the answer is. Shortly, we'll be chatting with Daniel Jarrett from the West Rock Wake Park. He's scheduled to join us here shortly, so looking forward to talking with him. As far as shout outs this week, I didn't make a huge list of things, but I do want to say kudos to those who put on the Big Rockford Home Show at the Mercy Health Indoor Sports Center there on East Riverside last weekend. It was well laid out, well done. I loved our spot. For those who did come to see us, thanks for stopping by and seeing Team Sold on Tony at the home show. We gave away a nice basket full of goodies worth, I don't know, $150 or something like that. Had people register for the giveaway, met a lot of past clients and potential future clients. So for us anyway, it was a very big success. And I think it was a big success for a lot of the other vendors too. So a lot of our friends in all the other, landscaping and insurance and roofers and all kinds of different companies that were at the home show last weekend. And it was worth the price of admission, I think, for people to get back out and meet and greet those in the home industries.
And plus, it's kind of the unofficial kickoff of spring, and that's what I love about it all.
Absolutely.
You get the home shows and the RV shows and all that. It's like, you know what? Spring is almost here. And what are we? We're a week into March now, almost.
Are we one week or 2 weeks away from daylight savings time?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
It's either
I
2
want
weeks or 3
to
weeks.
say, yeah, darn it. Seems like we just fell back. Now we're going to spring ahead.
We're gonna spring ahead and lose that hour. Yay! But yeah, I'm ready to lose the whole concept of daylight savings time. Let's just pick one and stick with it. And
I agree. And let's do it. And let's do it nationwide. None of this. Well, Arizona and parts of Indiana and this and that. Too confusing. And you know this from being in radio as well as I. In the early days of, when I was booking guests back in the day in the Charlie and Suzanne show and everything and Cunningham show, we would get screwed up all the time with a guest from, say, California. They're thinking they're coming on at 7 their time, 9 our time, when it's really 10 that they're coming on because of the hour difference, and everybody forgot about it or something like that. It used to happen all the time. Probably once every 2 weeks or so, we'd have a faux pas like that. I hate it. I just absolutely hate it because there's no point in it.
I wonder if we could get a viewer today from a completely different time zone. That would be kind of cool. Anybody who's watching that knows somebody currently living on the East Coast or in the Mountain or Pacific time, shoot them a message and say, hey, tune in and say hi from where you are. We're looking for
and then
people.
Send me the lottery ticket numbers at around 6 o'clock your time after they're gone, and then I'll go play those numbers. Isn't that the way it works?
Tom's logic is astounding. It's absolutely astounding. So,
I know.
Yeah. We had
coffee.
We had a big time party last night for Keller Williams Realty Signature celebrating last year. Our winter party was supposed to be in January and had to get postponed, and not because of anything for the company, but the band we hired, and no, the caterers at Montecito all got COVID at the same time. A few days before our big party back in January. So there was I'm sorry, our entire food service is basically going to be out for the next week and week to 10 days. So there's no way the party could happen. And it was actually kind of nice that it got postponed, because now we got to do it last night. The local band Dirty Pop was our entertainment. They are so much fun. We had a blast on the dance floor, and food was good. And Tony and Brad are awesome leaders at Keller Williams, and our team leader Dave Larson is hilarious. If you've not met Dave yet, he's kind of like the CEO of the company. He helps manage the agents and lead education stuff and recruit other agents to come and work at our office and hang their license at our market center. The last couple of days, him and a few other of our agent associates were at a seminar in Oak Brook the last couple of days, Thursday and Friday. And on Friday, because our party at Montecito Country Club last night was an 80s themed party, he went ahead and dressed up in his 80s themed gear in the morning and went to Oak Brook all dressed up looking like Brent Michaels. Had the wig on, the bandana, the fake arm sleeve tattoos. It was just hilarious. The dude is so much fun. And we had
how many people at the Oak Brook Mall said, hey, I saw Brett Michaels today. He was in Oak Brook. I know he was. I didn't want to approach him. I didn't feel comfortable doing that.
The costume was very Brett Michaels. I don't know that he looks a whole lot like Brett Michaels.
Yeah.
We had a blast. So kudos to Dave and the team for putting on a great party last night.
Cool.
And also kudos to Lino's, because at the after party, at least for our crew, ended up over at Lino's, and closed them down. And while we were there, the crew from Stillman Valley High School, they're doing their musical this weekend. Their opening night was last night, and they were partying at Lino's after their opening night performance last night. They drove up from Stillman Valley.
Hey,
which I thought
Lino's is worth the drive from anywhere.
That's right.
Enough
That's
said.
right. Enough said. So thanks to them for putting on awesome plates of food. We had some pizza. We just went ahead and just did some pizza last night at Lino's. So
But it's top 2, top 3 pizza in Rockford. Best pizza.
yeah.
Nunzio's, Lino's, and then the rest, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I agree. Well, and I've said this on the show before, Schnucks, the Schnucks, especially the one up on Harlem, the guy that used to do Sam's Pizza, I believe,
Mhm.
became their head like baker or pizza maker at Schnucks, which was Logley's years ago. And
Oh, yeah.
I want to say, I know he was there when it was Logley's. I'm not sure if he was there before it was Logley's. Anyway, that pizza is awesome too.
It really is good. It really is.
So, hey, throw that in the chat if you want to. Best pizza, and we'll give some shout outs to people today.
Well, when Logley's and then subsequently Schnucks was over here on Rockton, not far from my house, we used to order from there all the time. We'd get their pizzas all the time, 2 of them.
Bring it.
Yeah.
Bring it. And I am a guy who does the Hawaiian pizza.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I'm it's not my favorite. On my top 10 favorite combinations, it's probably about 10. Or
Good morning,
somewhere.
Daniel Jarrett.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Awesome. Good to see you. I
Great.
almost wore my hat to this morning too, but it's cold down here. I'm in my basement
Yeah.
studio. It's a little chilly. So how have you been?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you have been like all over like the news and social medias lately due to this awesome award that West Rock Wake Park achieved, and we want to definitely talk to you about that this morning. Before we do though, last Tom, did you have any shout outs or rants that you can fit in 2 minutes before we start talking with Daniel?
People who drive and talk on their phones, I'm not talking about Bluetooth, that's fine, that's acceptable. People who are looking at their phones and looking up and looking at their phones and looking up and, oh, hey, yeah, I'm on my way, driving me nuts. I was out yesterday. There must have been five incidents, separate incidences. One gal, I don't know if she was on her phone or not, but she's weaving in and out and in and out. And I finally caught up with her enough to blare my horn for 8 seconds. And it was fun. I felt so good. But there was some guy, older guy, and I'm older. Okay, fine. He was probably middle 50s, whatever. And he's doing this on his phone at a stoplight. The light changed, and the person behind him didn't honk. I was 2 cars back. I don't want to do that. If I'm behind him, I'll honk. So other people have to be more proactive. When someone's doing that, honk at them. It just makes me mad. I think know.
It's an unspoken rule, and everyone should know this by now. If you're the front car at the stoplight, you can't be on your phone. You got to be watching the light.
Attention.
If you're
because
the
here's the
car,
thing.
Maybe you can look at your phone a little bit because you can tell when cars start moving. But
that's right. Well, pay attention because it's a safety issue, but it's also a courtesy issue. And here's the other thing too. You're driving in morning traffic. You're trying to get to work. It's 7:10. You got to be there by 7:30 or whatever. And the moron ahead of you, and I use that term kind of, whatever. The moron ahead of you. Oh, hang on 1 second. Can't hear anything.
Getting some reset or something on the stream.
Yeah. Anyway. Might have muted accidentally. But the guy in front of you is jacking around. And now that extra 4 or 5 seconds means the last 4 cars in that line are not going to be able to make the turn. And now you've just lost another 2 or 3 minutes because you got to wait for the light to cycle through. So anyway, that's it. That's all. I'm just saying, pay attention, people.
There's a good rant. Are you able to hear us now, Daniel? Are you picking us up?
Apparently not.
Apparently not. We'll get them rebooted on here. The West Rock Wake Park, if you've never been there before, is something cool to see. And I wonder. There he is. Let's try this again. Reestablishing connection. We'll see if this comes through. Between Wi-Fi and other connection. Oh man, he's there. I could see his picture on the load up screen, but maybe he's having Wi-Fi connections where he is. Some issues there. So while we're trying to establish it, can you hear me yet, Daniel? Now I can't hear him, and I've got the volume cranked up. Oh man!
I wonder if it's muted on his end.
All good now.
There we go. Bingo. All right. Awesome. I want to know a little bit about you, Daniel, before we get into the park itself. What is your background? Where did you go to high school, and what did you do post high school, post college, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I am a Rockford Lutheran grad, so go Satyrs as of last night. Played basketball there. Went to Concordia University in Seward, Nebraska. Got a bio degree, minored in chem. Was trying to follow my parents' footsteps of going into medicine. And through college, I signed on with a modeling agency because a couple girlfriends brought me to a search, and I've been doing that ever since. So I lived in New York City for 11, 12 years. I met my wife along the way. Our first two kids were born on the Upper West Side, New York, and we moved home in 2013. Part of the reason was to be closer to family, and West Rock was certainly a catalyst. So, yeah. So you've been around the world a little bit doing some modeling over the years. Yep, modeling, acting a little bit, basic TV commercials, and people that wouldn't believe it. It's just there's been a much bigger industry for just, the dude wearing a suit, the guy being the fake dad, and it's been my bread and butter. Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Well, it's cool that you're back here because you have instigated, propagated, made happen this West Rock Wake Park, which I had never seen anything like this before you brought it to Rockford. So where did you first see the whole thing about cable boarding and skiing? Yeah, cable water skiing's been around since the 50s. So I grew up with parents that loved water skiing. And I kept an eye on the growth globally a little bit, the years leading up to leaving New York. And I mean, if you've ever landed at MCO in Orlando, you've probably driven by Orlando Water Sports Complex. And they've got two full cables. They've got a boat lake where you can wakeboard, wake surf. So they're around. Europe, of course, is where they are, though. The States is there's so much more boat access. And people in Europe grew up going to the cable as you would the snow ski resort. So there's 80 in Germany, 60 in France. So again, I just kept my eye on it, and I called Cessitech, the company based in Germany back then in 2013, I think it was. Hey, what does it look like for a guy that doesn't have super deep pockets to get one of these going? And we were installed in 2014 after bringing the idea to the park district. Because they were like, well, we got two lakes. There's Windsor and there's Levings Lake. And we love the idea. We love that it's going to take a historically cost prohibitive sport and bring it to as many people as possible, and expanded to the full cable with the big, circle where we have greater capacity. And it's that was in 2017. So that was more than you asked, but I kept going. I'm glad you did. Yeah. Because like you said, it's something that once you've seen, I got to say I haven't done it yet, and I want to. I plan to at some point, hopefully this summer. Yeah. At first glance, it looks fairly dangerous. Have you had a lot of injuries on this, or how's this whole thing work? Safety wise. So everyone's wearing a helmet and a Coast Guard approved life jacket, and our, knock on wood, our injury rate is very low. Actually, we do our best to I guess mitigate against the weekend warrior who tries to get above their skill set. And that's usually what happens. I mean, people that have injuries ride behind the boat, and we jokingly call boat wakeboarding the half pipe of our sport. You have, average cost of a boat is over $100,000 now.
And, you know, the middle-aged guy who used to wakeboard when he was a kid, he goes wake to wake and blows a knee out. Whereas riding on the cable, it's more dynamic. And if you kind of follow, we have what's called the School of Westrock, and that's our riding plan. And there is literally no easier way to water ski than at Westrock. So we teach you on our 2.0, and which is the system 2.0 down and back. It's remote driven, very personal. And then from there, oh, there we go. JB O'Neill popping up.
I'm gonna show you a little video while you're talking here. Yeah.
Yeah. So JB's on the start dock here at Westrock. He's actually the biggest YouTuber in our industry right there. And JB's a great guy. He'll be out this summer a few times, early June actually. But he's on the start dock. And so once you learn to ride, then you can make it to here. And people that see all the ramps, like he's going to ride by, you've got, you know, traditional kicker there on the right. And then you've got more advanced features. And the reason Westrock is appreciated by the top tier athletes is because of our layout. As it goes without saying that we can't go just push snow around and make a new transition or a new jump. And so these floating obstacles are very important to keep the layout fresh. And JB clearly is one of the best in the world, as you'll see here in a second.
So are these obstacles, are they in place, permanent? They're not going anywhere? Or do you move them around season to season?
No, we can move them around. So Greg, if you and I get bored of having a ramp in a certain spot, we can go out there and pick up the anchors and move it around. Again, that's why possibly this summer we're going to be hosting the brand that he's riding for is HO Water Skis, which is one of the oldest water ski brands in our industry, and Hyperlight wakeboards. But we're looking at hosting them for their 2023 product shoot. And again, the reason they love this place is because we can customize it, or in the industry we call it hacking. You can hack the park to keep it fresh. But I always go back to Westrock is known for our care for the first time rider as much as the elite level rider. Some parks swing too far one way or the other. They make it too advanced, too intimidating. We've taught as young as 4 and as old as 78. So again, you can get up and ride here.
You hear that, Tom? We're not out-aged here. We can do this.
No, we're not. I'm not.
No.
We got a few years left. Best part about this is, and I'm not being flippant here, but there's no danger of getting sucked under the boat and, caught up in the propellers. I mean, this is cool.
Yeah. Yep. And we've got guys in their mid 60s that come out a couple times a week. We've got a guy that he drives in from Chicago once a week. He brings his kneeboard, his wakeboard. I think he's got a trick ski. The guy gets it. Like that's kind of what you see in Europe. People, again, they call these water ski parks, and you've got people that are doing laps. So yeah, we'd love to get you guys in the water this summer.
When we first met, Daniel, I was in my last year of emceeing for the Ski Bronx, and you filled in a couple times in 2014 to do some trick boarding for us, which was so much fun. And I grew up in a lake town. I grew up in Wind Lake, Wisconsin. It's basically a town surrounded by lakes. It was almost like living on an island almost. And I hate even saying this still, because it's still true to this day. I have never water skied or wakeboarded.
No way.
And I don't know why. It makes no sense, because I want to. I'm ready to do this. I've been to tubing and stuff like that. But one of the things that you might see on the video that we were showing too is the fact that when you're doing this wakeboarding on this cable system, the pulley is up high, and that is a whole lot easier than being pulled from a boat where the rope is like pulling straight out.
Correct. Yeah, the upward pull definitely helps. And for water skiers that are used to behind the boat, it just takes a few laps to get used to. And so it has benefits and negatives, but again, if you have a lot of boat experience, it's going to feel weird a couple laps, but you get used to it.
Awesome. Well, this award that you just received here, I want to take a look at the 16th annual Summit in the Snow Awards in California. West Rock Wake Park won an award for the best wakeboarding park in the country. Whoa! How does that happen after only being around for like 7 years?
we tried to build the park that everyone's always wanted to see. So we
might be losing Daniel again. Oh man, little bit of connection issue. I'll go on to read this a little bit more. Without owning a boat, you can wakeboard without owning a boat. Open on Levings Lake in the city's west side, July 2014. At first offering a system 2.0 cables, pulling riders back and forth in a straight line. But in the fall of 2017, expanded to a full-size loop around the lake with floating features like a skate park on water. Environmentally friendly cable system, now making water skiing convenient and affordable regardless of your skill level, as Daniel was saying. And if I can get your volume back, Daniel, I hope I haven't completely lost you. You're still there. I can see you on video, but I'm not hearing you anymore. There we go. There we go.
I don't know if it's an AirPod problem. I gotta can these things. I love them. And I hate them. So we tried to build the park that everyone's always wanted to see. And so the pro athletes for years have been saying, man, West Rock is the best park in the country. So it was neat to have like the higher ups who, in the room, it was full of the heads of Mastercraft, Correct Craft, literally the guy that invented wakeboarding, to the co-creators, Tony Finn and Jimmy Redman. So it was a pretty awesome room to be in and have them all say, yeah, this is deserved. So again, when I got cut off, I was just saying like, we are so fortunate to do a lot with a little. We didn't have to build a building, a parking lot, whereas a lot of these parks that are all over the U.S. have crazy amounts of money. And you got to build buildings, parking lots, et cetera. Whereas with this, we took an existing lake that was, Levings has been fished for years. It was hand dug in the 1930s. And I could go on about that, but yeah.
Did you have to make it any deeper or do any kind of modifications to the lake?
The dream is to dredge the lake. The shallowness actually is a really big benefit to us because of, again, that ability to customize the layout and go around and move things around. Whereas there's a park near Crystal Lake, their lake is 40, 50 feet deep and they have a hard time moving anything. And so the park gets kind of stagnant. And, if after a major windstorm or one of those classic Midwest storms, their features and the layout can kind of really get blown out. Whereas we can get back online pretty quickly.
Cool. I've got two more questions for you, Daniel, before I let you go. But so, Tom, did you have anything you wanted to throw in here before I wrap up with Daniel here?
One thing I wanted to say is growing up in Rockford all these years, 50 plus years, Levings Lake has always gotten kind of a bad rap. And what I love most about it is that you guys have brought it to the fore. You guys have made it a good place, a safe place, on the map. You put it on the map, and thank you for doing that. It is really, really awesome. And it's also nice that you don't have to travel somewhere to Wisconsin, to Crystal Lake, wherever, to get this kind of activity here in Rockford. For all of those who say there's nothing to do in Rockford, well, there are a lot of things to do in Rockford. So thank you for that. By the way, you got a great racing name too. Daniel Jarrett. I heard that name and I'm like, oh my God, is he a racer? Wait a minute. Man. Well, Dale Jarrett's younger brother? What?
So quick funny side story. I raced at Sugar River Raceway back when Danica Patrick was there. And my dad would joke that the year we got out of it and got more into wakeboarding, actually, she just whipped me. So my racing days were pretty limited, but I did. No, I appreciate your kind words about that. I mean, that is a major component to the I always say the private backstory, because the more that you're out at Levings Lake, and frankly, we can speak candidly, a lot of East Siders, if they haven't been over there, they're either afraid to go over there and it's usually out of ignorance. I mean, I've heard, I know the bad stories that have happened back at Levings Park throughout the years, but you've got Live at Levings, Domingo and El Parque, these live series that have been going on for a long time. And I lived in New York for 12 years. I lived in Long Island City. And what's beautiful about Levings Park is you see these, there's these two cute old women that walk the park every morning. And it's got this Central Park vibe. The more time you spend out there, the more you realize, this isn't this isn't a hidden gem. It's only a hidden gem to the people on the east side of town that don't go across the river.
That's right.
And from an ecological standpoint, again, the lake was hand dug. We are making the lake better to fish year by year, despite our features, despite the movement in the water. We're up for a huge grant that Rebecca Olson and her team are pinning down to improve the water quality year after year. I mean, every lake is essentially filling in, and so there's an ecological story, there's a social, political story, and I believe Hard Rock Casino, part of their contingency was to build an amphitheater out there. So it's long overdue, but the guys from Live at Levings, et cetera, are going to be playing hopefully in a beautiful amphitheater rather than a portable truck in the next summer or two. So I could keep going about that one too. I'm super passionate about it. And Rockford, I think some of our challenges, sorry to keep going, we go to and from our jobs in our cars, and it's very tough to be around people that don't look like you. So I hope West Rock is a part of that unification by simply taking the historic sport and water skiing, and then also hopefully it's a draw for young professionals. I mean, we all know Rockford. A lot of guys like me. I'm turning 42 soon. How many young professionals that grew up in Rockford romanticize the idea of never coming back? And the only way we're going to have young professionals stay are things. And I mean, I know West Rock's not the only thing, but we need more stuff that's going to retain young families.
Nice. Yep, absolutely. I was going to ask you about whether fishing was still something that's happening at Levings Lake, and if it's improving or not improving. And you answered that question, so that's cool to see that people that want to fish there's still plenty of area around there to fish, and there will be plenty of fish to catch. So that's a cool thing to hear.
There's a stocking plan every year. We're hoping to actually we're looking at getting sponsors, but we want to do like a carpathon. The lake has got way too many carp in it. And the few haters that we get that don't understand that we went through the proper channels to get the approval from the historic users of Levings Lake, the fishing, we are doing everything we can to make it better. And we rarely have a motor on the lake. We've got our service barge, but it's not like a 70-mile-an-hour bass boat driving down the river. So
No, not at all. Well, I want to throw up this picture here real quick and show some of the folks off. I'm guessing a lot of these are some of the folks working out there at West Rock.
Yeah, a handful. That's an older pick, but we've got the staff at West Rock has been just incredible. My wife Amy, who does all the back office work for West Rock, we've been so fortunate to have a mixed community of people that grew up in the sport and then contacted us. Hey, we'd love to work there. We typically only hire within our community. But West Rock, our staff mantra is love people first, then the sport. And that is also why, to answer your safety question, we really care about people personally and their ability to succeed on the water and off the water. So, thank you for showing
the lake there too. See how much
the
lake is taken up by the course itself, and there's plenty of room on either side probably to still do fishing and other things.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say it looks like there's plenty of expandability room too. You're barely using half of the lake.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to. Yeah. We're the only expansion we're doing this year is we're working on adding a beer garden. So even if you guys don't want to ride, you can come have a beer and watch the sunset.
All right. Last couple things here real quick. And I don't know if you want to or can answer either of these questions. So here's me not being an attorney right now.
Let's go.
I am curious if the cost it took to put this in place in the first place.
Okay.
What is there like a rough estimate that you can say that to even get this thing off the ground when you started back in 2013, 2014? What was the cost involved in that?
So the beginner cable systems this is pretty you could find this info online, but the beginner systems, which are called System 2.0s, are roughly $35,000. I've actually got a customer of ours who has a private pond up in Kenosha, and I've been consulting with him to help him. He's putting one up in his backyard. This is a longtime boat rider. Yeah. It's pretty neat. Yeah, you can sit out and pull his kids on a tube or a wakeboard right in his backyard pond. So he's putting that up roughly $35,000 for those. and then the main cable's around 350,000.
Okay.
And then you add on features, and one of the biggest negatives to West Rock is our floating walkway. The parking in Grand Rapids, Michigan, they dumped mega money into their park. They also own a boat dealership called Action Water Sports, so they've got a few more bucks than us. But when you fall at Action, you can just swim to the shore and walk back. Whereas with West Rock, we had to invest in a floating walkway, which just it's not my favorite part of the park. We've got to work on that. It takes a beating from floods and ice and you name it. So we're under $1 million. I can be candid about that. And whereas a lot of these parks in Florida, I mean, I've heard upwards of $5 million and above. And so again, to be recognized as the Wake Park of the Year by not only the riders but the industry with making the most of an existing asset in Rockford that was in a way underused and definitely an underserved area is pretty cool.
All right. And if someone wants to come out on a random Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever, to learn and go around the course a little bit, what's the cost of that?
We are the most affordable park in the country. Our beginner classes start at $25. We don't have a huge rental fee for our main cable, but I would say that COVID pushed us into a reservation-based model, which is something I always considered doing. So I would say go to our website, westrockwwakepark.com, and click book now. Every activity at West Rock requires a reservation. Again, back to loving people. We care about your time, care about your experience. And so we don't do an open flow like, oh, let's just go out to West Rock on a Saturday. We actually require reservations. That way, you're getting predictable experience and all that.
Very smart. Very smart. westrockwwakepark.com.
Yes. Say that 5 times fast.
Nope.
Yeah. So
I'm a radio guy and I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So when in doubt, just say West Rock. My buddy who did the branding for us in New York, he's a Webby Emmy winning graphic designer, and he wanted the 4 words that were the same with Wake Park and West Rock. I was voting for Cable Park because Cable Park and Wake Park are interchangeable terms. So I've gotten crap for that name for a long. So West Rock, come on out to West Rock.
You've got an awesome thing going on there, Daniel. I appreciate your time this morning, and we'd love to promote. Like you mentioned, there's a lot of other events besides wakeboarding going on at Levings Lake throughout the summer, especially. So we want to help promote that all summer long. So good to talk to you, and we'll keep in touch.
So
Thanks.
Let's rock at West Rock. There you
go. Hey, one last thing. The on our YouTube, what is a cable park? That's our infomercial. People that are even watching that video, JB, we developed that video. That way you can go on and watch and go, this is what I'm going to experience, because you just can't figure it out until you see it. So thanks, guys. Cool.
And that's why I'm glad to share this little video of this guy doing his thing around the park. It looks so much fun. So got to do that.
You know what, Daniel? One quick question. I'm so sorry. I should have asked this earlier. Is there a weight limit or a recommended, like if you're 350 pounds, maybe you shouldn't be doing it without being insensitive? I mean, it's a fact, I'm about 255, 260. How would I do out there?
I want to say that 300-ish is the limit. I can look into that, but we've had some pretty big riders. What the cable companies basically said, if you've got the rental equipment big enough for them, then they can ride. We haven't had any issue with it. And again, if I can help you stand up off the ground from a seated position, if you're seated, I hold your wrists and help you stand up. If you can physically do that, you can get up on a wakeboard.
Good to know. All right. We're good, because I'm in fairly good shape. I'm not, I'm 6'3", so.
Yeah, no, we've got gear for you, and that's the thing. Like, our mission is to get people outside and realize I love how active people are in the gyms in Rockford, but there's a different way to use your body, and the fitness aspect. Like, our women's program is thriving, and again, I've got middle-aged guys who may have retired from wakeboarding behind a boat or never done it, and they find themselves out here. It's pretty awesome to watch. So like, you're an unsuspected future wakeboarder. I'm gonna convert you guys. It's on me.
I'm in.
I'm gonna coach you, and we're gonna rip, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
All right. Absolutely.
There we go.
Thanks, guys. Sorry about.
Thank you, Daniel. Talk to you later, buddy.
No, great interview. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Daniel Jarrett from the West Rock, Wake Park in Rockford, and from the west side to the east side, and Joanne over at Paws HQ.
Wow.
Bing, bing. There we go. Good
Hey,
morning, Joanne.
Good morning. I didn't know if I even turned anything on.
You're there, and you're loud, and you're proud, and if I put
I
Daniel
didn't
back
even
on the
know we
screen,
had this
probably
in
thought you were
Rockford.
wakeboarding with us.
That was a very interesting conversation.
Yeah, we could.
And my daughter
daughter
went to Lutheran, and I think she went to school with him because she's about his age.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
They
She's
won the
41.
section basketball
She's going to be
championship.
41 in June, so
Go
like a year
Crusaders.
under him in high school.
That is so cool.
Awesome. So we've got a big number of the week to get to in a little bit, but before we do that, Joanne, what's going on at Paws?
Not too much today. It's kind of quiet.
Do we want to take a quick little tour around, or do we
Let
just
me see if I could do this again.
Well, while she's
Sorry.
doing that, I just wanted to respond to Amy. She said Marie's Pizza on Charles Street has the best pizza. I don't know if I'd call it the best pizza, but it is very, very good. I've had it a few times. Very good. Very
in case you missed that earlier, there was Amy's comment on Marie's Pizza, which I don't know that I've had. I know I haven't had it recently. So
yeah, it's kind of right, almost exactly across from Lincoln Middle School.
Okay.
So that's where it is.
And then Paul was concerned about your safety.
Yeah,
time.
no worries there, Paul. I always give the quick hitter. The 1 8-second one that I was doing was because the gal was trying to come into my
because of his horn blowing.
Yeah, don't honk your horn at just anybody. You got to be careful.
Oh no. She was in my lane. That's why I gave her the 8-second horn. And then, I don't know if she forgot what. And then of course,
Sometimes people need a wake-up call.
Yes, right, exactly.
Well, these people, Joanne, if you weren't listening earlier, these people are on
I've been listening since 8 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, these people are on their phones as they're driving and they're not paying attention.
Sometimes you fall asleep in front of the stoplight.
Yeah, that's when you stop into the mobile station and get yourself a big old cup of coffee.
I think we got 3 black cats in this one.
Oh, yes.
Hello.
Oh, yes. These are young, still younger kittens. They're teenagers. They're a little bit getting older.
Yeah.
And another black cat. We must be March for lucky black cats.
Yeah.
And we talked about Winfred before. I think he was a cat of the week. Yeah, he's going to have a little thing to say. What? Oh, it's tiring being on the air.
That is so cute.
And with this, well, now you can't see it, but this was Fluffy. But he's kind of behind.
Pet of the week.
I like Pet of the week, but he's kind of behind the.
I think there's 2 of them there.
Yeah, there are 2, but Fluffy was the one Fluffy and Spike. But you can't really see Fluffy because he's behind the board. Sorry. Just peeking out. There's nobody in there, so I don't have anyone to see. Kind of low on cats today. Now, kitten season is coming, and then we'll be like teeming with cats. Oh my goodness, look at the number of bowls in this room. How many cats are in here? They eat only at night, they said, so they try to test to see what they want to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So this was Doug. Doug the cat that Doug, Alan, and Stu. I think someone told me that was some cartoon group.
Sounds like a Thursday night poker game.
Yeah.
We need a fourth, guys. Bring a friend.
Well, they came in. They were still kind of shy. But look at these 2 and they're pinned together. Still need some work. that's about it for our cats. We're really low.
Okay.
And I like to show, this is March. We just started March 5th, so we've got 2 adoptions and then just 1 dog, Nico. And then here, they still have January. They didn't change it from February.
February number up there. Yep, there you go.
So February
what
was about the same as January, though.
All right. Good deal. So Pause HQ, check out Pause. And
This is a cat. We talked about this one too. She's missing her kneecaps, so she will be having surgery. We're going to do a fundraiser for her because she's going to have a surgery, and they think they can help her.
So basically, she doesn't like jump or anything, right? Like from the couch to the
Luxating Patella is what the term is.
You don't want the fluxating patella. That's not a good thing.
No, and she will be,
once.
when she gets a little older, she's going to have surgery.
Okay. Awesome. 815-299-PAUSE, the phone number for Pause Humane Society Rockford. Pause.org, the website. PAWSHS.org. Check out that. All right.
I have never been to Levings Lake neither. And I'm not afraid of the West Side because I started my teaching career teaching on the West Side.
Okay.
But
well, I think Daniel's talked Tom and I to go out and at least try it this summer.
Maybe I'll just come out and watch you when you go try. I have never water skied.
The one time that I've went water skiing, I actually got up on the skis.
We're moving. You're making me dizzy, Greg.
I'm confused by my setup today because the way the setup is right now, it's like it's got Tom as the host, which
I know.
You're
normally on the other side, but anyway, the first time I ever went water skiing, there you go. I actually got up, and then I haven't been able to get up ever since. So.
Well, the way this pulley system works, it's pulling you up instead of just out. So I think it's going to be something we can actually do, Tom. I really do.
What is it, up?
Yeah. So if the pulley system is pulling you up, it's easier to get up on your skis or your wakeboard. Where if it's pulling straight out, it's more difficult.
I have never water skied. I had a chance when I was in my teens, and we were in Lake Michigan, and I stepped in the water and stepped on some glass and cut my foot open. So I ended up in the emergency room instead of skiing.
Well, I'm not sure I should say this out loud, but the only time I was offered to go water skiing, I was told I would have to do it without any clothing on the first time, or I couldn't do it at all. So I turned that one down.
I think
that was kind of what is that when they say up in Wisconsin where they talk about going some kind of hunting? There's some kind of hunting they take you on, and it's a spoof.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Snipe hunting. Is it snipe hunting?
Snipe hunting. Yes. That's right.
So that's kind of naked water skiing might be the same thing.
There are no snipes. All right. So, SMS info time before we get to our big number of the week. I'm fully clothed, giving the as we mentioned, West Rock Wake Park won the best wake park in the country at this awards.
That is so awesome.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
For those of you in the Loves Park area, Aldi is moving their store soon. Aldi planning to open its brand new store in the southwest corner of Forest Hills Road and Riverside Boulevard, March 17th, according to the grocer's website. That'll be the opening day. It's a new 20,000 square foot store that will replace the Aldi currently on North 2nd Street, North 2nd and East Riverside. That store will be closing same day or very soon. I'm not sure if it's the same day, but that's where it's going. Tuesday this week, Major League Baseball owners failed to reach an agreement with the Players Union, canceling 91 games across the league. The first 2 series for every team has been canceled. They're not talking about rescheduling them either. So This could turn into a really icky situation for Major League Baseball. Players don't get paid if the games don't get played. Teams revenue is about roughly $4 million per game across food and tickets and merchandise. So that all revenue will be lost. And then local businesses that surround the ballparks, they're hurting big time because they're missing out on some of the biggest days of the year. Opening days are huge.
That's the biggest hit right there, because the ball players and the owners, they're going to be just fine. Yeah, they're going to lose out on some money, but they're all millionaires plus. But the business owners who are struggling to, the little mom and pop shop or the whatever, they're the ones that are going to struggle the most. And that's how it's been for the last couple of years through COVID. That's how it's been for all of these times when football does it, basketball does it, hockey does it, all of these sports that decide, well, you know what, millionaires versus billionaires, we don't care. We don't care. And,
well, we'll see if we get a season. The way things are going, it almost sounds like this season's going to get cut in half because they don't seem to be agreeing on just about anything. So we'll see how that plays out. Speaking of billionaires, Tom, Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich confirmed he's going to be selling the Chelsea Football Club, Chelsea FC, which is actually, we call it soccer here in the States, the English soccer powerhouse. He's owned it since 2003. Estimated asking $2.5 billion. Here's the kicker, though. This Russian billionaire, Mr. Abramovich, he says that the net proceeds of the sale of the team will benefit all victims of the war in the Ukraine.
Wow.
So he might be one of these Russian oligarch guys who actually doesn't support Putin, which is saying something. So
yeah,
here's hoping the Chelsea FC gets $2 billion plus, and that money actually does go to help those in need. March of 1872 was when President Ulysses S. Grant signed the bill establishing Yellowstone as the first national park. Happy 150th to the awesome park known as Yellowstone. Malls around the country are becoming more experimental. Malls offering entertainment like indoor skydiving, pickleball, and craft beer bars. We've seen it with our own mall here at Cherryville, where they got the big Tilted 10 arcade now. Malls are changing, and it'll be interesting to see how much they change in the next few years. A study finds the average person eats 30 pounds of lettuce each year, probably topped with 40 gallons of ranch dressing. What's your favorite dressing on your salad?
I like blue cheese, but ranch is my go-to. A lot of places don't have blue cheese, so ranch is mine, but I do like blue cheese.
I do a French dressing.
Yeah. I like whatever the house vinaigrette is. I usually go with that.
It's boring.
It's boring. It feels very healthy to me, and I like the taste of a good like a raspberry vinaigrette or something like that.
That's why it's boring.
Bring it on. Then the first 24 hours that the New York Times integrated Wordle into its website, visits to the page were about equal to the total monthly audience for the entire New York Times website. It's according to Puck News. The New York Times buying Wordle was actually a really, really good move. Anyone else hooked on it? Have you been playing it yet?
My daughter was telling me about it yesterday, and I haven't. Maybe I will.
Okay.
Is this one that's got the crossword?
No, you have 5 guesses to guess the word. Is it 6
5-letter word? And you get
5-letter word. I've got Wordle. I have Wordle, and I can't even say the tournament on so I can play more than one time.
See, I'm avoiding doing that because I like the game so much. I don't want to get hooked on it playing it.
Well, yeah, but then I can play like 3 times and then be done for the week or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm on a streak. I am on, I think 25 in a row that I've actually gotten the answer right. And yesterday's was really tough.
It's kind of interesting to read people's strategy too. Like, I was reading an article that some people will use a word like audio, so they get all the vowels.
That's a good word. That's a good first word. Audio. My first word is adieu.
Adieu.
Adieu. So
I was doing that and using one word, and I thought, how boring. But it seemed I would use a word with ST and R in it.
I like the idea of adieu, but it doesn't have the letter E in it. And most words have the letter E. A lot of words. So A do has the letter E.
But I was reading another article that said you should just practice on finding what the letters are rather than keep playing the same.
Right.
Like, okay, so E is in this place, so you try to do but they were saying to keep doing other letters to find out the letters rather than the word.
That's my winning strategy. A do, and then some other. Now that I know what letters are in the word, try to find this. My second or third guess is just incorporating those letters to find where they're supposed to fit.
Okay.
I don't really care about getting the answer right. I just want to know, okay, there's a letter E somewhere, but it's not in the third spot. Let's try it in the last spot. And a lot of times that works. So anyway, I'm hooked on Wordle daily.
Okay, I'm going to have to do it now because my daughter was, we were playing with it last night, and she also had a crossword. This is why I was asking about the crossword. And we did the crossword, and it was fairly simple. But I think it was all part of the package that she downloaded. But she did say Wordle, and she asked me about it. I'm like, I don't know, whatever. I'll try it.
Everyone's playing it.
It's
not everyone.
I try to. I honestly,
everyone but Tom is playing it.
Now I'm hooked. I'm
my grandkids aren't either. So
last thing, Target has announced plans to invest $5 billion into their stores operations, including opening 30 new locations and renovating 200 existing stores. I think the Rockford Target was renovated not too long ago, so probably not going to see any renovations of the Rockford Target, but other stores looking to get renovated here in the near future. And there's your randoms for today. Are you ready for a big number of the week?
Why not?
Let's get to the big number of the week. Our current score.
Tom's the lead.
I still have to figure out.
He disappeared.
Wow,
Tom's really in the lead.
All right,
8-2.
No.
Let's go to this.
I think it's 6-2.
No, let's go to this. And I'm gonna if I can get rid of the I'm still learning here, guys. I'm still learning. No, not that. No, not that. No, cancel that. I want to get rid of my background so I can show this. There we go. Tom is up 6-2.
6-2.
Big run for Tom. And our big number of this week, Sounder, here we go. Our big number of the week this week is 500 million. 500 million. And our answer is either Heinz or Holy. Heinz or Holy is the answer. Give it some thought. Joanne's like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Okay. All right. Heinz or Holy? Give me your answer in 3, 2, 1. Go.
Holy.
Okay. So one of you is getting a point.
At least you didn't have to cap your pen.
One of you got a point. Did you know that Heinz varieties of ketchup, there never was 57 varieties?
Huh.
Just don't tell me there were 500 million.
When Heinz came up with its marketing gimmick, founder H.J. Heinz came up with the gimmicks of saying there was 57 varieties, even though there is not 57 varieties of Heinz ketchup. Liars! All of them liars. No, the U version of the Holy Bible. Do you have the U version Bible app on your phone?
I have. Yes, I do. I have 2 versions. One of them is the U version.
The U version is a great Bible app, and it started out of a Oklahoma church. I don't know, 12 years ago, 15 years ago. I forget when they actually launched the U version Bible app, but it's been downloaded about 500 million times. Wow. Congratulations, Tom. You are up now 7-2.
And up until about 10 seconds before, I was going to go Heinz. And then I thought, I don't know. Something just said go Holy.
My goodness. So, yes, Tom,
go home.
That's huge right. Lead in our race to 10. And congratulations. So, anywho, what a great show. I was glad Daniel was able to join us this week.
That was very interesting. Makes me want to go out there. And one of our volunteers here said she goes out just to watch them ski.
Yeah, you can just go out there and watch. There's plenty of parking. Go out there and watch them go around and around and see, some of the guys do tricks. Some of the little kids that are out there will just.
And I hate to say this, but until last week when you mentioned it, I had never even heard of it before. Is it one of our best kept secrets?
I've been in Rockford. I've been in Rockford since '90, like the winter of 1990s when I started working in Rockford, and I moved to Rockford in the winter of '92, I think. So I've been around for over 30 years, and I'd never been out to Levings Lake until just
I've
recently.
never been to Levings Lake neither.
So,
and I've been here since 1975. It's a long time.
I think people are going to see.
Where is Levings Lake?
It's out on Pierpont, and I don't know what the other cross street is, but it's maybe near Cunningham or something like that.
Okay. Because I've been to the Chilton Farm.
Yeah, that's quite a ways away. That's off Safford Road. You'd have to go all the way over, I want to say, to the other side of State Street, down Pierpont. And you're going to find it. But it has gotten a bad rap over the years. That's why I mentioned what I did, because a lot of people are simply afraid of it. They hear Levings Lake. I'm glad they're not. Okay, fine. They still say the Wake Rock or Rock, whatever it's called, park at Levings Lake. That's okay. But West Rock Wave Park at Levings Lake. And I think that's okay. Yeah, there you go. West Rock Wake Park. That's hard to say.
Oh, interesting.
Thanks for joining us,
I've
Daniel.
never been to Levings Lake, so
thanks everybody for tuning
that's on
in.
my to-do list.
Yep.
I don't think we're going to West Rock this week, but when the weather gets nice, we'll be.
Yeah,
out.
it's got to be a little warmer, 70 plus. Yeah,
Remember, friends,
especially if they put Tom on water skis.
That's right. You got to see that. Get
Then
that on
for
video.
sure, we might have to do a show out there.
All right.
Do the show and then get out on the.
And for part of our show, we will have Tom on water skis.
That's right.
You change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same. Meet you back here for another edition of your Saturday morning Stateline show. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I never know how to.